Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody, power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah, Can Crushers. Yeah, Can Crushers. Let's go.
It's a special edition. Is it a special edition or is it an achievement?
It's an achievement episode for Can Crushers.
Yeah. Jenks, do you know how many?
I feel like it's in the 300 range right now.
More.
But more? Is it 4?
350.
350?
350 show. This is a 350 show. Do you believe
350?
that?
No, I can't believe it. That's awesome.
And I didn't know. I honestly didn't know until probably an hour before recording. That's how I do my research.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was just looking, just checking out Spotify and everything and Apple and just making sure everything was good. And it said, you have 349 episodes. I have what? So, yeah.
Did you think you'd get to 350?
Fuck, I thought I wasn't going to get to 10.
And look at where you're at now.
Freezing my ass off.
Freezing?
No.
You're freezing your ass off, but you got a lot of crazy stuff going on now. You know, merch stands popping up all over the place and things of that nature.
Yeah. Let's stay on the 350 for a second. Jenks, honestly, I never thought. Essentially 4 years going, I thought, let's see how this goes. This is awesome. The ride has been worth it. I'm going to spoil it. We had a great interview with the Masked Saint. The interview that's going to pop up on the 16th is with Scarecrow. And you might know him from IPW in Indiana. Let me just say, we start talking about wrestling, then we get some stories, and then, folks, get ready. It turns into a huge mental health discussion, and you know how both of us waved the flag about that. So lots to talk about on that episode. Again, that's on the 16th. Man, I have a friend that, if I'm ready to jump off of a building, he's going to catch me. He's unbelievable. I will ruin it that way, but you need to listen to everything that we talk about because it hit home. It hit home, and there's some stuff that I don't want to release because it's not time sensitive of what he says, but I want you to hear it out of his voice because he didn't tell some people this, and he only releases it on the podcast. So it's pretty effing crazy.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a big one on the 16th.
Yeah.
This Wednesday we have Stan Michael, the Music Man, the R&B wrestler. He sings during the podcast, so be prepared. Yeah.
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. So that's that. That's 350. But you made reference to stuff popping up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Head over to What a Maneuver, and you can buy some onesies for your babies. Or sweatshirts or whatever. Yeah. We got signed up on What a Maneuver, and it's that easy. What a Maneuver / Can Crushers. You'll find our store there. Hoodies, t-shirts, tank tops, onesies, like all type of clothing. Oh.
Clothing.
I did not drink last night. Are
you sure right now?
I'm positive. Yeah. So that's a new store that we have open. Check them out. I was told that you can order different colors besides black. Everything is shown on black, so check them out. That's pretty cool that What a Maneuver signed us up. You can find that link on our homepage, cancrusher69.wixsite.com/cancrushers. I've posted it all over the socials already. It's there. You'll be able to head over there, buy some merch, support us, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Looks pretty nice out there.
You gonna get a onesie?
I don't know if I could fit into a onesie right now, but I have no use for the onesie.
Who can we get a onesie to? Like, I want to get a onesie to one of our friends or a friend of a friend that has a baby and can be the poster child for onesies for Can Crushers.
So it goes up to 24 months. And the only person in that range is Sir Cody Herrick, I believe.
He's only 24 months old?
Well, his son is.
Oh.
But his son is under 24 months. So maybe we could get Henry to be the poster child
Henry.
here.
Yeah,
Henry.
That'd be
we'll
great.
Have to see. Just dropping hints out here. I can't wait for that text later from Cody to see.
We'll probably have to have Becca sign stuff.
It's Kaylin.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What are you doing over there?
Becca's Moochies.
Yeah, Becca's Moochies.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I'm not drinking. I'll say that. I will be drinking
sure?
later. Well,
yeah.
I should prep. I have to put Christmas decorations away today.
Oh, frozen hell of Erie, in your neck of the woods.
See, you don't even know where I am.
Frozen hell. Well, it's frozen hell right now in the tundra. Why the Christmas decorations now? Did you guys get 2 foot of snow?
Yeah,
this week.
Yeah.
So what's the inspiration for the Christmas decorations now?
I don't know. We could have did it in January when it was at least 30 degrees outside. No, so I reach out, and this isn't my house. Ours have been down since December 26th. My father now has everything good to go in his garage, and now he wants to park his truck in his garage that doesn't run during the winter anyway, but nonetheless he wants to put his stuff away, and I'm like, all right, we were going to do it yesterday and it was negatives, so he's like, let's do it tomorrow. It's supposed to be 30s. Yeah, right. I don't know when it's going to be 30 today, but so I woke up and I was doing some stuff for the podcast early, which is unbelievable on a Sunday because usually I don't get up until 5 minutes before. You can ask Jenks that. So I got up early and I found out this was our 350 edition, so that's good news.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't want to leave the house today, so I reached out to Dad. Hey, it's cold. I'm really not into doing it again today unless you heated the garage up. It was supposed to be 30 later on. I don't know when later on again is. Apparently right before I go to bed. I said, let's do it tomorrow after work. There's a possibility of it being legit in the 40s tomorrow. I can't.
Yeah.
We got doctor's appointments, this, that, or other. Tuesday. Nope. Car got to get inspected. And these are all one thing days, that is what he built his day around. Doctor's appointments is going to take up the whole day. But by the time they get up and they shuffle around, they slide on ice that's just all over the place. That's going to take up that whole day.
Yeah.
Same thing with car inspections. Locked and loaded. The day is shut down. I'm like, Dad, your car inspection, you said, is like at 10 o'clock in the morning. What if they find something? They're going to do it that day. They're probably not going to do it that day. They'll say, cool, they'll come back and we'll work on it then.
Yeah.
I said, never mind. I'll be up around 1:30 then today. Yeah. All right, I'll make sure I turn the stove on or the heater on at like 1. So I'm sure it's going to be nice and toasty warm in that garage that is frozen.
It's going to be toasty warm in the garage, but what about outside? That's going to be... is the stuff outside, or is it already inside the garage?
They're in the garage, and his garage does not warm up. I don't care if Satan could come and set the place on fire. His garage is cold in July because he lives in parts unknown. You think Erie is parts unknown? Kersey is parts unknown for people. It's a road.
Fair.
And he lives on the back end of that road that has millions and millions of trees just engulfing his house. So, yeah, he doesn't see sun. He is like Alaska. They get sun only 6 months a year there.
And the rest of the time, they're huddled up next to a heater, trying to survive. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my day. Excited for that. And I have no help because both child and wife will be working. Dogs are not dumb enough to leave the house. So it'll be me and him fighting each other, putting Christmas decorations in his shanty garage away.
Fantastic.
So if you want to drive down, by the time we get done recording this, I edit it, and then I'll just give you the address. You can meet me there. It will be perfect timing.
You know, as tempting as that sounds, I think I'm going to stay inside my nice warm house and not come out.
Touche. Order something from Blood Maneuver, or buy us a coffee, because you can also, if you want to support the Can Crushers, buy us coffee.
Yeah, that seems to be the only thing we run on now is coffee.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Buy us coffee is / Can Crushers. It helps support some of our future endeavors, essentially what we want to do, or it'll help us get to a wrestling event and cover that said event.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. So thank you. Buy us a coffee. Buy me a coffee, guys. But I'm not going to just steal all the money from some people. Just my wife.
That's good. Right.
Just my wife.
Hide it.
Yeah.
Just hide it. It's fine. It's all good.
So last week we ended Jenks. No, wait. We just rambled on about that. How was your week?
Oh,
yeah.
Don't worry about my week. It's fine.
Fuck.
Yeah. My week was good. Did nothing. Just been trying to rest up the leg and get back to more walking without a hobble. Look like an old man. That's been my week.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Ankle, same thing. Kind of just rubbing some spit and mud and icy hot on it and rocking and rolling. We're good.
Yeah, we'll get there. It'll be good. My week, I've been very uneventful this week, so nothing much going on.
Hopefully, I have an update next week where I fell off the ladder putting a Christmas tree in a garage.
Let's not fall off the ladder here. Listen, we're not the Hardy Boys here, so we cannot be having you jump off ladders here.
Speaking of which, I was going to save that. Way to just blow up the episode ourselves. I was going to save that for AEW talk, but it's kind of news. So let's stick with the news. Tony Khan is making a huge announcement this coming Wednesday on Dynamite, and I asked some of you to reach out, and I saw that Steve Cardoli reached out, and he said it's going to be Shane McMahon, so there's something to talk about there.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it could be Hardy, it could be somebody. I'll ask you, Jenks, who do you think the huge announcement for AEW is going to be? Tied. Yeah, you tied into one last night.
Yeah, no. tied into one. Yeah. I've thrown this bit around in my head. I'm leaning towards Hardy, although I'm thinking they might save that one. Until after this whole Matt Hardy family office thing blows up, because I'm pretty sure they're moving away, and Johnny's just stealing his entire family office. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the signing's either Keith Lee or Karrion Kross, or Killer Kross, and I don't know which one it is.
You're just tying everything together today. We're going to have a 45-minute show the way you're tying everything together.
Being efficient today, apparently.
Yeah. I agree with the Keith Lee thing. I think it's going to be Keith Lee.
Yeah. It just makes too much sense. Hot free agent. They just became free Wednesday, if you will, from the 90-day clause, both him and Mia. I don't know if Mia Yim's going to show up as well, but I'm going to guess she might be a fast follower, if anything. So I think it's got to be Keith Lee.
So is AEW Dynamite going to be their honeymoon?
It might be. It might be their honeymoon. I mean, where are they at for Dynamite? Is it hopefully somewhere warmer than fucking Cleveland or Chicago?
Right. It's got to be in North Carolina again, because they've had like 3 weeks away from North Carolina, and that seems to be like their central location to do a North Carolina and then head back down to Florida, do a North Carolina, go to Boston. Or, just they do North Carolina as a tweener. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And essentially, I don't care. But that was just a spot to say, hey, congratulations to Keith Lee and Mia Yim for tying the knot yesterday.
Yes, congratulations on tying the knot. Looks like they're in Nashville on the 16th. I don't know about next week, but congratulations to them. That's fantastic. It was good to see that.
It's about time, Keith. It's about time. No.
I was going to say, it feels like a long time ago that they, announced their engagement in that. So this is a happy news.
It is happy news.
It was very happy news and very proud for them and happy for them in that. So hopefully they have a long life of love and happiness together. So
we'll save some of those teasers that we did talk about the whole AEW announcement, and one being Shane O'Mac, until either WWE or AEW, because there's a lot to talk about and unfold there. We have a new digital champion in Impact. Congratulations to Matt Cardona from winning that over Jordan Grace. I was shocked. Not that Matt won it, because it's a perfect title for him. I was shocked that they didn't give it to Chelsea. I still am wondering what they're doing with Chelsea across the boards in all of these federations. She's not locked and loaded into one contract yet. I don't know if she's going to be, and maybe that's the issue of not putting a title. But Cardona's really not locked in Impact either.
He's not. But I think to your point, the digital media championship, that was kind of his baby anyways, if you think back to the internet title that he had at one point. So, but yeah, I thought it was odd that they haven't done a lot or put a title on Chelsea yet. But to your point, if she's doing every single promotion, doing a lot of promotions in that and working with a lot of promotions, she's more of a free agent. So would you put your women's title or put we'll say TBS title, just to throw that out there, would you put those titles on somebody that jumped, rightfully so, let them jump, but that jumps from organization to organization? It just doesn't seem like it's the right fit or something. So they kind of just have to use her where they can use her.
I think it was a story in the making. Not of like, all right, we know they're married. We forgot to mention congratulations to them months ago. But I think it's a perfect story for Chelsea to win that from Jordan Grace, and then Matt kind of getting a little schnozzy about it, saying, man, that's a title I wanted in TNA or Impact or whatever. I really wish I would have got a chance at it. And they don't get divorced over it, but they just have a little spat, and then maybe Matt ends up winning it from Chelsea or she just hands it over and says, stop being a bitch. Here, you can have it then if you're going to whine and cry about it.
But, to that point, though, they could still have that match. Maybe Chelsea's like, maybe I'm the digital media champion of this family now, and goes out and proves her worth.
Yeah. I think it's perfect no matter which one of them have it, because I think it's a title that needs recognized more. So it's maybe a title that they can take to GCW or NWA or Shimmer and Shine and all of those. So I think it's a traveling title. I don't think it legit stays at a home for Impact. I think an Impact wrestler will have it. Me or you aren't winning it, is what I'm saying.
No, God, no. Which is probably for the best, knowing our tech history.
Right?
Yeah.
I already have the title from Chelsea on my arm, so I'm good.
You leave some bounds ahead. That's why you're the host here.
Oh, yeah. Jenks, what are you doing March 19th and 20th? You want to go to Nashville and have a few beverages and go to the Crockett Cup?
That was very tempting. That is very tempting. I don't think I have anything going on. I would love to, too, but you were doing the math on that. How long is that car ride down to Nashville?
For me, because you're about 3 hours away from me, so for me it's about 12 hours.
Yeah.
So add another 3 to get here, because I'm not coming to get you.
Well, that's rude, but that's fine.
I could fly. I could drive up, and we could fly out of Parts Unknown.
Well, Parts Unknown keeps losing flights left and right this week.
So, well, everybody does. Hangman didn't even know his flight was canceled.
He did not. He did not know his flight was canceled the night before. But no, parts unknowns, I think, down to just Charlotte and maybe DC to fly into now. So we're losing a lot for this international airport. We're not really flying internationally. But yeah. So
international means outside the United States as well, though, too, right?
That's the whole point of being international, being
right.
outside the U.S.
So if you're only going to Charlotte and DC.
Yeah, we're literally only flying to 2 U.S. cities. We're not international anymore.
So you're an East Coast airport. That's it.
Barely an East Coast airport.
Mid-Atlantic.
We're about a 500-mile airport at this point. But
I'm excited the Crockett Cup is coming back. That will be, in all jokingness, that will be something I watch on Fight or whatever. My wife wants to know if she can blow dry her hair. I don't care. Go ahead, blow dry your hair. That's fantastic. You'll hear that in the background. That'll be something cool to watch on Fight or wherever they decide to do. I'm shocked that they actually moved out of North Carolina to do this because Billy is a huge fan of doing pay-per-views like this, where they started and where they came from. But they're partnered with Tried and True this time, which is the Crimson and Jax Dane, their federation.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's that. Jenks, a couple video games. If we have to talk about video games here in the first segment to piss people off,
as usual.
Right.
So good.
So let's start with MLB The Show 2022 coming out. First and foremost, I'm excited that it's coming out. I was worried that it wasn't with this whole lockout. This might be the only baseball we get is a video game this year. So hopefully, like MLB picks up college games this year to broadcast for us. That would be cool.
That would be great.
Yeah, I would so dive into those. But MLB The Show is coming out on April 5th. If you buy it, pre-order it, you can get it 3 days early. I will, or have. I have not yet, but I will. And I'm okay that Shohei is on it. But I thought there was going to be a legendary game this year. And everything was based around 2-2-22. The person who I think of when I think of number 2 in baseball is Derek Jeter. So I'm like, Jeter's going to be on the cover. It's going to be Jeter. Oh my God. I can't. They made the huge announcement in Times Square. So I'm like, oh shit, this is definitely going to be Jeter. You're going to have everybody pop. And then it's Shohei. Shohei deserves to be on it. He MVP, Cy Young, amazing two-way player, all of that. But then I thought I saw that the Switch leaked that there was going to be a legendary one, and it's going to be Jeter. So they said you have to wait the next couple days, and then they show the MVP edition, and it's, no disrespect to people that like anime, it's Shohei Ohtani in anime, essentially. And I'm like, God, they fucking got us the whole way around.
Yeah. So how disappointed were you that it's not
devastated?
Jeter?
Devastated. Yeah. My cousin and I planned this out that it was 2. There was a million twos up. It only made sense. But you know what the 2 stood for? The two-way player, not the number 2 for Derek Jeter.
But you're forgetting one other date that's still coming up, though. There's another 2 date coming up in about 16 days that they could release the Jeter.
Valentine's Day?
2/22/2022.
But it's 20. It's not 02. Jeter didn't wear 20.
That's fair, but you still have 02, a bunch of 2s in the name and in the number. It could still come out on that day.
It could.
Would it have made sense to do it that way? No, but
but it could.
But it could.
This hope is all farce. This is all farce hope. It's not.
I'm giving you hope.
No, it's Shohei's world, and we're just living in it right now.
Well, that's true. That's just accurate all around the board, but
Yeah. I don't care. I'll still buy it. I'm excited for it. Hopefully by the time that rolls out, because PlayStation 5s are popping up now in stores, Jinx. I don't know if you noticed this.
I know I've been tracking
and
it.
I have a hankering. I almost pulled the trigger a couple times, but I still kind of don't want to pay $1 million for one, or do like, hey, for 36 payments of $9,000 a month, you can get your PlayStation 5 tomorrow and then end up paying $1 million over 36 years. As much as I want to, and it all is fine and dandy for the pay the $25 today. Yeah, I'm calling people out if you know who does things like that, like Aaron's Renovision. Da, 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 da.
Right.
I'm not paying $3,000 for a PlayStation 5 just because I can get it today. I'll wait.
Yeah.
There will be one in my house by the time this next video game that we're going to talk about comes out, though. So I only have a month.
I was going to say, you only have a month coming up for that bold prediction.
Well, that's not a prediction. That's a guarantee.
Guarantee. Okay, Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Which segues nicely into the next game we're going to talk about.
Well, that's why I'm leading it to you, because I know that you have some quandaries to bring up about WWE 2K.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the game to come out. I think it looks really great. I'm excited my GM mode's coming back. You're getting a lot more content, and I think it's going to take us back a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to be on SmackDown versus Raw level, but I think it's going to take us back a little bit. The one thing I've had this argument for, God, however long they started doing this in wrestling video games, so at least 20 years, the ratings. I don't like having ratings in my wrestling video games. I go back to No Mercy. You just picked a guy and you fought with him.
Yep.
And I love that. And I think that is the best way to enjoy the experience, because you're not dealing with, Roman Reigns level invincibility and all of that. It's just, you just pick a couple guys and you just have a match with it. And it opens up the creativity of it all. I don't know. It just, I think I don't want to say cheapens the experience for me, but I lose the experience a little bit because I can't immerse myself in it as much, if you get what I'm saying. Because I just think, I
yes.
think the ratings just take away from it.
I do. And the ratings play a bit of a big to-do in things like the GM mode. And if you have the opportunity to get Eddie Guerrero, which we know is a 90 in this year's game, or are you going to get the 24/7 champion, Dana Brooke, which is like a 67?
Right.
She's a champion, but you have Eddie Guerrero out there, legendary. I would pass on 24. I would pass on a 24/7 championship if fucking Brock Lesnar has it. But I'm just saying, like, that's what it is. I hate the ratings thing, and they kind of are being released or teased to my knowledge is they're gonna have kind of like a Madden card type of game as well.
Yeah.
Online, where that's where the ratings really pay a big to do in all of this. Just let us have fucking matches. We haven't had a video game essentially in 2 years, and AEW, when they started, that was one of their first things. Hey, we're bringing a video game out as well. Cool.
Yeah.
You guys are now 2 years old as well. What are you going to be doing about your video game? I know Aubrey talks about it a lot on the podcast and stuff with her and Tony, but you better pull a badass video game, and it better drop soon, because I'm losing hope.
Yeah, I feel like they're not. I don't think they're anywhere close to having a produced video game, which is understand if you're building it from the ground up. Completely understand that, because it takes time to build a video game.
It does.
But to that point, you lose hope because you're not sure when it's going to drop or when anything's going to happen with it. They talked it up a lot, which is fantastic. I'm looking forward to the AEW game, but again, if it's going to do the rating system, what the hell is the point? Yeah. And I look at, I just want to enjoy it. I just want to beat the hell out of people that I want to beat the hell out of with whoever I want. I want to be crazy and maybe pick like some random ass person to win the world title, because why not?
Eugene.
pick Eugene, pick, R-Truth. He deserves a world title. Let's put it on him. Something along those lines. Not Reggie. Reggie doesn't get a world title. But I just want to be able.
Okay.
But I don't know. That's my only hang up with wrestling video games, because I think it just takes away from the experience, and you lose a little bit with the ratings.
I agree. Back in the day, there wasn't ratings. The N64 games, which I think are phenomenal. Yeah.
Yep.
You just picked and played, man. It was if I was better than you, if you were playing 2-on-2, or if I was better than the computer. I don't need those ratings. But I did like to see, after watching some previews and everything, they're going more back to a smash button thing, which I'm not, because I can't, to do R1, R2, circle, stand on your head, do this, do that, and then you get a headlock. And I'm like, what? No. I'm 44. I want to beat the fuck out of buttons and get a move.
Yep, exactly. That's the other thing too. So I'm looking forward to that. Can I say, back in the in the N64 days, No Mercy, I remember Howard Finkel winning the title because he was an unlockable character, and I was so pissed. I put away the game for like a week. So it was like the Undertaker. There was a triple threat match, and Howard Finkel won the goddamn title, and I was so upset. But anyways.
I play that every once. I haven't played the Odroid in a couple months again now, just because it's been Hetrick. But Hetrick, that's Cody.
Hetrick?
Yeah,
Cody Hetrick's back. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't played the Odroid in a while because it's been hectic. Oh my god.
Hectic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm so frustrated about going to put this Christmas crap away.
It's all right. It's only cold. Okay, mind over matter.
Yeah, it's only been cold as balls in the back of a garbage truck too. But I haven't played the N64 version in a while, but maybe I need to roll it back out on the Odroid yeah. Essentially, that's what I meant to say. God, let's just please go and talk wrestling, because there's notes I can read. Because this was all note-free segment 1, and you can tell that it went well.
It went amazingly. You did great.
Thanks.
It was fantastic.
Maybe I should drink more during a podcast.
You might need to pull this together here.
Yeah. All right, guys, we told you about our merch places, What a Maneuver, and the other one that you can find, the Creative Pod, that you can find on our websites. But we also have to tell you about Collar and Elbow, hats, hoodies, tees, all that great stuff that Al Snow brings week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out, all the cool designs that he has coming. The winter garb should be on its way, and then essentially spring is always released right after that, because they like pushing the winter garb to the end, and spring bringing it around so we can think, hey, spring's right around the corner. It's a great marketing tool, I think. It really is, because then you get people excited.
Yep.
Head over to collarandelbowwrestling.com. Use our promo code CANCRUSHERS, all one word, capital C in can, capital C in crushers. You save 10%. When we come back, Jenks, I don't care. We'll do a flip of the coin during the teasers. What we're going to talk about first, WWE or AEW. Either one was wrestling this week.
Yeah, I didn't live up to the hype.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey everybody, this is Scarecrow from Indiana. Why don't you go ahead and listen to Can Crushers? This guy has everything, and he will take you up to the heights. So listen to Can Crushers. Again, Scarecrow says, listen to Can Crushers.
And welcome back to Can Crushers. We flipped the coin. Jenks won because he got to pick whatever he wanted to anyway. And we're going to start with WWE. Jenks, what else is going on around your neck of the woods, though?
You know, I forgot about this in segment 1, but, you know, with the snowfall brought apparently the apocalypse chicken to run wild in the streets of parts unknown, Pennsylvania. We had a rooster on the loose here on Thursday morning. it just randomly. I don't know what the hell was going on here, but apparently he had to get shit together.
And it made national news that there was a chicken running wild, brother, all over parts unknown. Like, they couldn't catch this thing for a little bit, right?
Right. It took its vitamins and said its prayers and just ran all over one of our main drags around here, which is 38th Street. They couldn't get it wrangled up. And
it's a chicken.
They couldn't get him. The cock of the walk was just bopping around here, just going around. They had cop cars stopping traffic in the middle of 38th Street trying to corral this thing. Damn thing would not get caught. And
they should have called. They should have probably at least called Phineas. I know he's a hog farmer, but at least he has.
He would have known what to do there. I feel like Phineas would have known.
Yeah.
Well, you get the hogs out. You gotta get the chickens. You gotta take care of the chickens. You know, Phineas would have had it. Phineas or Henry.
So did they figure out why the chicken did cross the road?
I think it was just to give critiques on the plow jobs that were going on around here.
Horrible, probably.
They weren't great. They were not great. You know, I think they did say the chicken's name was Colonel Sanders, so I think he was just living the dream, I guess, bossing people around.
He was spicy.
Yeah, he was spicy. What?
Do they know where this chicken legitimately came from?
They have, as far as I know right now, they have not found the legitimate owners of the chicken. The chicken was given to the zoo, which is just down the road from where this chicken was just pondering about and wandering around at. So the zoo has the chicken now, and they do have a volunteer to take it if the owners do not step forward. So,
well,
I don't know.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you fess up and say that's your chicken? Because I'm sure there's fines to go with this now.
Oh, there's definitely fines. And just the resources that were dedicated to corral this chicken. I would not fess up to it. If it was mine, it's not mine. Despite the fact I'm wearing an Angry Cock beer shirt right now. I just looked down and realized that. But it is not my chicken, so I would not fess up to this at all.
No way. No possible way. I know we have an ordinance where I live that you're in town that you're not allowed having cocks and chickens and stuff running around town. I would imagine since you're a little bit bigger city in parts unknown that that's probably true as well.
I think there's an ordinance, but I think you can have them. It's not frowned upon. There in my where I used to live in parts unknown, there was somebody that owned a rooster, and it would sound off at 6 a.m. every morning. And it was legitimately on the road, on my street. So I think you can have them, but they have to be contained. They have to be corralled, all of that stuff. So if your chicken's out strutting about, trying to find hens or something, I don't know, but I think you're going to get a little bit of a fine for that.
Yeah, the poor guy was honestly probably just looking for food. You see him on the pictures, like there's a snow pile as big as, Seawolf Stadium, and there he is, just like, it's definitely going to be a meme if it isn't already. Where's the chicken? Where's the parts unknown chicken at? Yeah,
parts unknown rooster. We need a name for the chicken, an unofficial name. So if you guys got any good names to name this rooster, send them in. I want to hear how creative we can get with this snow chicken.
I'm going to throw the first one out. Terry Taylor.
Oh, man. He had a little bit of red in his fur, so maybe he's the red rooster.
Yeah, maybe
I could see it. I could see it. I could buy it.
Raw starts with Bob coming out and saying he beat everybody, and then Brock comes out and essentially is like, let's fight. This was his plan along. He planned this so he could get title versus title.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going into the Elimination Chamber and beating your ass. So, all right, now your butt can come out.
Well, my butt is, I don't think that's happening. I don't think he's winning the chamber.
Baloney.
I don't think he wins the chamber match. I'm not saying Bob's winning it. I just don't think Lesnar wins it.
Does he have the title by WrestleMania then? That's all I care about at this point.
No, because I don't think it's title for title now.
Oh.
I think it's Roman and Brock for Roman's title, and they're going to do something else with the WWE title. If there's rumors that have been about, I don't know if they're true or not, but I think we're going to see somebody else for the WWE title by the time Mania rolls around, and it's going to be the center of that storyline. I don't think Bob leaves Chamber with the title.
I don't think Bob leaves the Chamber with the title either. And I'd be all right not having a title for title match at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I would. Roman and Brock don't need a title fight over, and people still want to watch it. I don't care about that. I did make a prediction, though, Jenks, that we're going to get Seth Rollins and KO at WrestleMania for the title.
That could very possibly happen. It's definitely trending that we're getting at least Rollins and KO in a match.
Right.
Just the way how things shook out this week with Rollins getting the buy-in and Kevin Owens not. So,
are you saying we're going to get Riddle Orton for the title? Because Riddle was supposed. This is where everything is going to get thrown out now. Riddle was supposed to go over at the Rumble. We found out this week.
Yeah, he was supposed to go over at the Rumble until I think the day of. Was it not the day of, or it was close to the day of? It was very close.
Until Shane McMahon got his goddamn hands into it, and that's another story coming up right after this.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So I think it could be Riddle Orton. But do they put the title on Riddle in a chamber match and have him over Bob and Lesnar? That seems a little far-fetched for me right now.
Well, there's no disqualification or anything like that. So these two are going to have to... Either everybody's going to have to beat on them or something. I think taking the main loss of this whole thing is Austin Theory. What is he in there for? I don't care that he's McMahon's boy. He can suffer the biggest loss of not getting the title, and you're good to go. I don't know. I'm intrigued by this. I really am. But I wouldn't be surprised if Seth wins it. I would be a little surprised if Riddle wins it. If Seth wins it there, it sets up for him and KO. Bob wins it. I think that's a monkey wrench in everything. No disrespect. Because where do you go with Bob then? We get Drew and Bob again. Brock wins it. It's title versus title.
Yeah. So what we're seeing here is there's, I think, 4 legitimate options that could come out of the match is basically it, because there's, how do you book this in a way? In my opinion, Lesnar's not leaving because there's going to be the bloodline's going to get in there somehow. I feel like the bloodline gets involved somehow.
Okay.
Don't know how, but I think they're getting involved.
All right.
Bob,
I'm listening.
Bob, I could see, but I could also see him getting pinned because everybody else gangs up on him. And that could be a very early elimination for Bob. Maybe he's the second or third eliminated. Do you look at, I would say Seth Rollins is your clear-cut winner, or could be your clear-cut winner because he has the pedigree, he has the history. I meant pedigree as in the
move.
persona, not the actual move. But
did you know my mind instantly went there? It literally.
I know it did. That's why I corrected. I was like, I got to correct this. Wait a minute. But he's been a champion before. He can do it again. I'm pretty sure he's beaten Bob. He's beaten Lesnar. He's the viable candidate, as he's not a dark horse. And Riddle, they could just fuck shit up if they were going to give him the Rumble win, which would have been fine. I would have been fine with. That would have been great if Riddle won it. Maybe they give Riddle the love he earned. They were going to give him that Rumble. Shane got his hands on it. Shane's gone now. Maybe they give him to Riddle. Fired. But I think it's down to Seth or Riddle that are walking out of this match with the title.
I'd be all right with Seth. I still am not sure if Riddle is your flag-bearing guy to carry a company. I don't know. Maybe because I'm way too much into his character of him being stupid.
Yeah. Well, and I think what we're going to see here is something similar that they did, and I don't know if this was the exact case with Wyatt back in 2017 when he won the title at Chamber. It was essentially a transitional champion, but it was almost like a trial phase. can Wyatt carry the company, or what does Wyatt do for us? Let's see what he can do. I think that you could see them doing this with Riddle a little bit. I'm not saying that he's going to beat Orton or lose to Orton at Mania, but if they do move in that direction of giving Riddle the rub here, then I think it's going to be over the next probably 6 weeks, I think, once this all pans out from Chamber to Mania, that's going to be a trial period for him. If it's Seth, I think he's a transitional champion. I think KO resigned to be champion. So I think that's how KO gets the title at Mania. So I just feel like if they go the Riddle route, it's going to be a trial period because they do that before Mania. They have the track record. Wyatt is a perfect example of it. He won his first title at Elimination Chamber, lost it 5 weeks later to Orton, but they were testing the waters with what they had in Wyatt.
And I guess that's me being devil's advocate right there, Jenks, because that's the way that you have to build a superstar. If they're pushing Riddle is going to be the superstar. Randy's old. Brock and Goldberg that's back. They came back. Fantastic. I mean, everybody that has a title or is noteworthy is up there, in wrestling age. Riddle's not. He could be the one that you want to be the face. And I think that's the time because you know what? There's going to be asses in seats at WrestleMania no matter what.
Right.
So having Riddle come into it, you can hear his pop then when he comes out at WrestleMania with that title. If it's good to go, you change shit on the fly, as WWE is known to do. Let him carry it after Mania. That's cool. Because Randy wouldn't need it after Mania if that's the match that we're looking for.
Right.
The Seth KO thing, I completely agree with you. If Seth wins it, KO's winning it at Rumble because he re-signed, and that's the one I'm wanting personally because I'm a huge KO fan, and I do like Seth now. Not that I never didn't like him, but I just like what he's doing now, and I think that'll be a great match. I just worry that if they put it back on, or if Bob leaves with it, we're going to get Drew back in the shtick of it again, because no disrespect to Drew, he's really never had his huge moment of getting a title. And that Mania one is the one that he's, he won it at Mania with a can of snuff and a can of pop there, which is directly in front of me, meaning nobody was there. So he didn't get his to-dos.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know.
What's interesting is while we were talking here, I did look up the age of Kevin Owens, Riddle, and Seth.
I'm glad you do this shit on the fly and not tell me.
I just wanted to do that just because both Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle are essentially the same age. They're 36. KO is going to be 38 this year. So imagine, let's talk this through here. Your newer, younger stars are in their mid-30s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that leads to a whole other conversation that we've been seeing transpired with WWE. We're not building up people from their 20s to carry the company anymore.
No.
We've transitioned into that 30s range. Yeah, I get that Seth and KO have essentially come up through what Triple H had built at NXT, but they became main players in the roster. And Riddle has done his part to get past that Triple H rub of bringing him in. I think it's talking to, they're not building this. They're just now starting to build the stars with Braun Breaker, and that the transition to hopefully get them. These guys are just carrying the torch for 5 or 6 years. They're not pillars. None of these guys that we're seeing are pillars right now. For the company.
Agree. Well, that makes me ask you this then. Austin Theory's in that in between then.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Is he going to be a pillar?
The way they're booking him now, I think so, because you don't put Austin Theory, who will be 25 this year, into this storyline with Vince McMahon, even though it revolved around a dumb egg, and now that's what it's spread off to.
Right.
You don't put somebody this young in that storyline unless you see him as that pillar or that prototype that you want to use going forward. But we've seen this over the past couple years, at least when Theory, he's got some behavioral issues that came up, but when he was Seth's Messiah or Seth's disciple or whatever we call it by, that was a big leaps and bounds because at the major program during the course of the pandemic, he was brought up during that. Austin Theory, I think, is being positioned to be that pillar, and he's getting a world title shot out of it. So I think that's one of possibly four. I think Braun Breaker's a second of the four pillars if we go by AEW pillars. I don't know who 3 and 4 are, though.
I don't think they're discovered yet because you said perfectly it's about 5 years out.
Yeah.
My question is, Austin is getting this world title shot, and out of everybody in it, I think he would be the least picked to win, at least in my head, to win it at Chamber. So his story then needs to continue to something big at WrestleMania as a big mid-card match. Does he get the stroke about beating Punishment Martinez, or his name in WWE is what? Damian Priest.
Right.
You always hear you gotta, back in the day, nowadays titles are just titles, or belts are just belts, or whatever. But you always had that U.S. or Intercontinental title to see how you were to the next level. That would be a perfect thing to see how much we really do love Austin Theory. Have him taken off of, I'm going to continue to call him Punishment Martinez, Damian Priest.
Right.
So, yeah.
It could be. You know what's sad, Mark, about this whole thing? We haven't even talked about probably one of the more dynamic individuals in this match and legendary individuals, AJ.
Yeah. I know.
There's no reason to mention AJ, and
that's worrisome. He's probably number 5 to walk out of there.
Yeah. He's not even close to walking out of there, where I would argue a year ago, before Omos,
he's number 1.
He would have been 1, 2, 3 at the least. He would have been in that top 3 conversation to walk out of there. He's just not there anymore because of the way, I guess, because of the way they booked him, in my opinion.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. When it was him against Ray this week, and we're just going to jump around Raw, I knew AJ was going to win because I think the writing's on the wall. It's going to be Ray against Dom at WrestleMania for Ray's retirement match. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that plays into why he's the cover athlete for
I do too.
WWE 2K, because what a swan song. Here's our tribute to you. You're a legend. You're leaving probably after Mania. Here, have the photo cover for it. So I think you're right there.
That's not the one I'm buying, though. I'm buying the NWO edition one.
I don't blame you for that.
I'm breaking the extra, $50.
That one does look way sweeter than.
And it's only a digital copy, which I only do stuff digital anymore anyway. But yeah, to get sold out and some of those other arenas right off the bat before having to buy them from I just want them.
Yeah.
Adult money.
Exactly.
I'm stupid with it.
Spend it the way you want.
Right? Because at the end of the show, I do want to touch on something real quick that's, I should have touched on it early, but I want to pay respects to one of my mentors and idols. Never a wrestling fan, and a lot of people that I'm going to say and talk about probably never hear this, but at least I want to talk about Barry a little bit. Next up, Nikki and Rhea. I don't care.
No.
Okay. We get the scooter race, though. It was supposed to be around the arena, so I thought we were going to see them trucking through some matches and stuff. It literally was just backstage, and it seemed to be around one pillar. If that, we're going to say with the word pillar this week. I mean,
this whole year,
the whole year, pillar. I wish they would have did more with this. This could have been funnier.
Yeah.
There's a hairdryer, by the way. If you can hear it in the background.
I can hear it. It's fine. I wanted more out of it. I was surprised they called it 50 laps. I put air quotes around that. But, I wanted more out of it. But I guess they did what they could for just having it. I think it lasted, the first couple hours of the whole thing? I can't remember off the top of my head. But
They're really slow. If it took them 50 laps for
to do
2
that,
hours, jeez.
That's ridiculous. How big is that fucking arena?
Right.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I wanted a little bit more out of it, but we got what we got. I guess take it the way it was. I don't know.
I knew at least that Riddle was going to lose because that's just the way it happens. Gable wanted the questions, he lost that.
Yeah.
Riddle wanted the race, he lost that. Now we're going to get the spelling bee. We're getting the questions this week.
But yeah,
so
Quiz Bowl.
Yeah, yep. Excited. I hope they're good questions, like we can get engulfed in.
So is it good? I don't think it's going to be as good as Orange Cassidy getting the tidal wave question from AEW way back when, but I'm sure there's going to be one where Riddle's just going to ramble off something completely absurd that nobody thought he could actually answer. But
we get Alexa a couple times on the show. We see the return, then she gets really emotional, getting Lily. Jenks, is somebody going to dress up as Lily, and is her and Alexa going to fight? Because that's where I think this is going before she breaks the spell of Lily.
It could be almost like a reenactment type thing. Is that where you're going with that? Like they have to do the next physical step of therapy is have a reincarnation of Lily to break it.
Or we haven't seen the spotlight. Spotlights are ours. An overproduced wrestling match. What the hell were they calling those? The Boneyard?
The cinematic matches or whatever.
Are we going to get that from Alexa and Lily?
I don't know.
Because we don't need to know who Lily is. Lily could be Reginald. Lily could be me, you, Callie,
right.
Anybody. Because we don't need to see who that is. But if done right, you can have Alexa breaking her whole life away from Lily and then come back as either the goddess or spiteful Alexa that essentially needs to happen sooner than later.
Yeah, and I guess my thought process is if they did that, the only way you could possibly do that to me is if you do an experimental therapy session where it's you go inside the mind of Alexa type of thing, like almost trying to think of recent things that have done that. I don't know if you've probably never seen the Harley Quinn show on HBO, but they've done it on there where they go into her mind to get her out of there, or even Psychonauts video game way back when. But that would be the only way to do that. I just don't know if they're going to do another cinematic match. It just seems like they've moved away from the medium now that they've gotten fans in the seats.
I think to throw one in every once in a while is spicy. I don't know why we haven't been doing it all these years. Because if done right, it's nice. It's nice. Yeah. But we don't need the cinematic match like the Money in the Bank where Otis and Asuka won, which were horrible.
That's fair.
Okay.
We don't also...
The Swamp match.
Yeah, if they do... The Swamp match is a perfect example, but it gave us this. It gave us this bliss.
It did.
Essentially, if you think about it.
It did.
Which is amazing how that match has kind of turned an entire character in that almost on its head a little bit. I just don't know. The only way they could do it is if they do it, just go inside the mind of Bliss and the goddess shows up to defeat. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if they can pull it off. They pulled off the Boneyard match without an issue, but I don't know, man.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Other matches that just happened, most of them were all kind of for the Chamber, which I didn't know half of them were for the Chamber. Theory got in by beating KO to get in. Riddle beat Otis, and I didn't know that was part of the Chamber to get in. So if Otis would have won, he would have been in the Chamber. Really? Really?
Look at you.
Hey. No.
Your man would have made it.
No. Bianca beats Mella, which, my God, they haven't defended the tag team and I love Mella, and Queen Vega's good, but they haven't defended the goddamn championship since they won them. They're not doing anything with them. I was one waving Sasha and Bailey's flag. She just keeps putting that thing higher and higher on. Like it's like we have a blow dryer car wash upstairs.
It's a bad hair day, man. Let her get it out. Let her get it worked out.
Like I was all about the women's tag team championships if they would have done something with them. And now they don't have a goddamn tag team. And no disrespect to Mello, but she could do so much more. She could.
Yeah.
And then AJ beats Ray, as we said, to get into the chamber. Anything you want to talk about, or are we shifting right to Ronda?
I think we got to shift to Ronda because there's nothing. Oh, well, we didn't talk about the big one. The women's title match at Elimination Chamber now.
Oh,
Lita
well, yeah.
versus Becky.
Well, that comes up during this. Yeah. We also missed Dawkins.
I thought you were shifting. You were shifting SmackDown. Sorry.
No.
But go on.
We also missed Dawkins versus Ziggler too. By the way.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, I guess.
Yeah. So Ronda's going to be bookend. We're going to talk about Ronda to start Raw, to end Raw, and then we're going to talk about Ronda to end SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because 2 matches come out of Ronda being back. She's out. She looked pissed. Like they told her, Ronda, don't smile going out to the ring. Because remember when she first came, she couldn't stop but smiling. And she wanted to smile so much on Raw. I felt bad for her. But she's supposed to be pissed on Raw. Miserably pissed. And I like her promo. I did. I liked everything she said. Ronda can talk. And she buried Bex a little bit. So I was pretty excited about that. And then she just leaves after she beat her ass.
She beat her ass, called her Rebecca.
I know.
Times, and just not even acknowledging her as in the same upper echelon as her. How? Oh man! Now, it seems like it's obvious the writing's on the wall. We're not getting Becca Ronda this year. You just put a slow, year-long burn for that match, Mark. I want it now. Just based off of the interaction they had on Monday.
I do want it now. But there's still a chance we're going to get it now. Let's talk about what happens next with Becky. Because Lita comes out.
Right.
And Lita pretty much challenges her. Hey, I'll fight you at Elimination Chamber. I didn't think we were going to get that.
I didn't think that either.
We got it.
That was a surprise match. I'm all about it. I think hopefully it's Lita's better in the singles competition than she was in the Rumble. That's all I'm going to say. But
she's got essentially 3 weeks, but knowing, she kind of probably knew she was going to be into this.
Right.
So she's got some time. They can work their magic together backstage into the PC.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's one of those. I love that it's the horsewomen are taking on that older generation type thing, where you saw Charlotte and Trish. Now we're seeing Lita and Becky. Is that acknowledging that they're using that older generation to just build this newer one is fantastic. This is a match I didn't think I wanted, Mark, but I do want to see. Despite what happened in the Rumble, I do want to see this. And, probably 3 years ago or before the whole man shtick, it would have been Sasha versus Lita would have been the match for me. But now Becky versus Lita, that's a pretty good offering.
It is.
For me.
It is. Because I think we're never going to get what we wanted 4 years ago, MMA horsewomen against WWE horsewomen. Since the MMA horsewomen are gone besides Ronda.
Yeah.
That was always a Survivor Series that I wanted to see. Or just a match. Not a Raw match, a major pay-per-view match. I
would love to see that. Yeah.
So shifting gears to SmackDown, Flair's out saying she's got no competition. The only one would be Sasha. Yada, yada, yada. Ronda comes out. And they must have said, you could smile a little bit during this one because you're excited now. Because she came out, she's high-fiving people, she's hugging and kissing babies. This is the Ronda I want to see. I know she's a badass in the ring, but when she's walking down, she loves the WWE. She really does, folks. I don't care, whatever. Yeah, she's getting a huge payday. I think she really is in love with this.
She loves the interactions. I think at Rumble, she was turned it down a little bit, but now she's getting into it. She's getting more into the headspace. She's more about it, and she knows what she's doing in the ring, which wasn't fully apparent. So I think that's how you enjoy it more and more, because now you're getting more comfortable. You know, the nerves are gone. You know what you're doing. I think that helps with the nerves and helps her get back into it and fall in love with it all over again.
Yeah, I agree. So she picks Flair. Flair hightails it out of there. Sonya's there, gets tossed around. Are we getting a Sonya Ronda match prior to WrestleMania? Have it be on a card. Kind of a warm-up.
Mark, I'm going to be the pessimist here and just assume that Ronda's going to get suspended for 30 days based off of what happened.
And it's okay. That fits the story then. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. I just feel like I hate to say that we've seen it before, but we have seen it before. And I think she attacked an official. Sonya's going to duck and hide from her. I'm not saying we don't get that match, but it might be on a SmackDown leading up to Mania. Maybe 2 weeks or a week out is when we get that, if we get that Sonya Ronda match. But I think we're seeing the writing on the wall that Ronda is going to be suspended for 30 days or something because of this.
And again, fine and dandy, because I think it only helps her train. We know she's back. She's got this match against Flair. But Mark's going to be the devil's advocate. Flair inserted herself into Becky's match. I know she didn't have a title. Okay, fine and dandy. After Elimination Chamber, who does Becky have to face at WrestleMania when she walks out with a title? Can't Becky say, "You piece of shit, Ronda. You came in, you cocked off to me, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I am going to do what Flair did. I'm inserting myself into this," and we get part 2 of the triple threat. This time she pins Flair instead of Becky, though. And we get Ronda 2 belts.
I like where your head's at. I just don't see it happening. I can't. Because if the one big storyline with that whole Charlotte getting inserted thing was the McMahons, Becky attacked Stephanie and Vince put Charlotte in the match. That's not happening here.
Okay.
But I would not mind having another triple threat of them. I just don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they pull the trigger on it. I think they do Charlotte and Ronda for the title.
And then you think it's going to be a full year burn before we get Becky? Because Ronda is on SmackDown. That has been publicized. I'm sure Fox paid a shit ton of money. Ronda is not a free agent. She's on SmackDown.
Yep. And so I've thought about this since Ronda came back last week. My thought is Becky's losing at Mania. She's putting over Bianca. Ronda beats Charlotte. Becky's chasing a title for an entire year. She's going to take the shot at Ronda.
After she wins the Rumble.
If she wins the Rumble or she wins a chamber match, I think it could be Becky two-time Rumble winner by the time this is all said and done, and she beats Ronda next year at Mania. Bold prediction for 2023, but I think, in my opinion, that's where the story feels like it's going. Becky's going to be chasing a title for the entire year.
So Bianca gets 2 WrestleMania moments in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's no disrespect. Bianca deserves it. She's great. But, wow, back-to-back years. I think if she wins it at Mania, she doesn't keep it long. Because she had a lengthy title reign the last time. That's
fair. The thought process behind that for me, and maybe I'm overthinking it by WWE standards, because this would be something AEW would do, but Bianca still hasn't avenged the 26-second thing.
I understand.
And I think they play into that, and this is going to be how Bianca gets over that 26-second match back at SummerSlam to happen.
Yeah, all right. I could see both. I could see both. I just hope I'm right. No, I'm kidding. So
That's fair.
SmackDown to bookend Ronda, she picked Charlotte, and Becky, as of right now, doesn't have a WrestleMania opponent. Or will Becky even be on WrestleMania because she's defending the title against Lita? Come on, we know. It'll still be a good match. It'll still be a good match. I'm excited to see it, but we know Lita's. I don't think Lita's. That could be a swerve. That could be. Maybe that's what the Prince paid for this time, though. Lita to get the title.
That could be. Yeah, that's true. The Prince runs the show.
He really does.
Yeah, maybe he did pay for Riddle to win the world title. I'm just saying, bro.
Oh, I didn't even fucking think of that either.
Yeah, I just thought of it.
Or did the Prince pay for Goldberg to beat Roman again? Because that's the match that we got. I did like the start of this about how Heyman, and it needed to be Heyman to say all this, wrapped everything up perfectly with COVID and this and that, and how this was his plan from day one. To screw over Brock. I loved how he wrapped this up perfectly.
Yeah. It was Heyman's storytelling at full capacity again. This is how good of a talker Paul Heyman is. He sells the story.
I believed
I believed it. So did I. He can sell something. Sell a drowning man a cup of water. That's been the expression all along for Heyman, and he did it perfectly in this segment.
And then we all got cringe because Goldberg says, "Acknowledge me that I'm next."
Yeah.
Who wants to see this?
No one. I didn't want to see it in 2020 when they were going to plan it for WrestleMania, but the match is not going more than 10 minutes.
No.
And
it's not because of Roman.
No, it's not because of Roman. Roman's carrying this match.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. Roman's going to carry this match, but yeah, Goldberg
gets choked out. He gets choked out.
You're thinking choked out?
Or this is where Rollins comes and does something, actually. He returns the favor. Goldberg's not leaving with the title. He's not leaving with the title. He might leave with the win, though.
Does Brock screw him?
I don't know.
Let's play devil's advocate.
Yeah, it could be.
Let's throw it all shit to the windows. Brock screws Roman.
And the wall.
Scoot. All right. Brock screws Roman. I can't believe I'm going to say this again. Goldberg wins the title.
No, he does not win the title. He does not win the title.
Here's the thing. Lesnar wins the other title in the chamber match now. Because the bloodline can't get in. So now we're playing hoop-de-daws here with the matches. I don't want Goldberg to win the title, but if the Prince paid for it, Goldberg's winning the title.
No.
I had to play the card. It's out there.
It's out there.
Unfortunate side effect of this whole thing.
And these aren't our predictions yet. We still have to do predictions.
Because I will never make that as a prediction of mine because I don't want it to happen that badly. But let's put it out there. That could happen.
It could. It very well could. I agree. But I can't talk right now, and it's not because of my stutterness than the last time. I'm just dumbfounded. This is this is the last match of the night. The chamber match no.
Chamber's got to be last.
No possible way. Well, this is first then. If this is first, then Roman's going to screw over Brock somehow in the chamber.
Yeah, so Chamber's got to go first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. If he, Maybe you should invite the lady friend over, the girlfriend, because it's Facebook official now, to watch this, because this isn't, maybe you might not get as crazy, but there will be a lot of side effects on the chat that we're gonna have. And I think we should open this up, and we have a couple weeks to figure out how we can get a group chat and even have the Can Crusher Nation involved with us three as well.
Yeah.
So
all I'm gonna
not
say
on
is,
Facebook. We have to do it like on a Discord or something, because
Right.
I'm not having Facebook. I have to have my phone in my hand. I'm not sitting by my computer watching a pay-per-view. Sorry.
Yeah. I agree. Man, that's going to be a lot of disappointment that night if she watches this as her first event. Maybe I just hold out for AEW Revolution.
Yeah, you better. All right, the rest of SmackDown, to me, let's talk about one other thing on SmackDown. As Big E is officially on SmackDown now, he's now part of New Day again. He was never not part of New Day, but this is being stirred around, and I want to jump on this. And then you can bring up whatever else you want to on SmackDown to talk about. Big E's single run is done. He's back to being a tag team person. And some people are saying it's because of the fans. Some people are saying it's because of creative. Some people are saying because it's Big E's fault. I can't imagine it being Big E's fault. So I want to take him out of it. He's so fucking charismatic. He's strong. He does big man stuff. He doesn't do little man stuff like Ray, but he does like medium man stuff that all looks amazing. So whoever's saying it's Big E's fault, boy, on you.
They're blind.
Yeah.
This is not Big E's fault. To me, it's creative. I think they tried to make him too serious, or more serious than he needed to be.
He never looked powerful. To me, he never looked powerful in his title reign. He was taking tag team losses left and right.
Yeah. Well, exactly. He wasn't dominating competition. I think they made him too... It just didn't feel like the Big E that we all know and love during his title reign. And I think that's the problem. They tried to overcorrect, or they tried to... They took it away from him. They took away what they built for him. And it crippled him. It crippled what the character in the singles run could be, which is unfortunate because, in my opinion, Big E could be, I don't know how big old Big E, I haven't looked it up, but he could be your power pillar.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Pillar again. Here we go.
Pillar again. There's the pillar. It's the word of the day. But, yeah, they did a lot against Big E.
This also means one thing to me, at least, or maybe I'm looking into it a little bit more. Xavier's on the shelf for longer than we think. Because why not let Kofi just do his own thing on SmackDown for a while? Or you could take Kofi off and give him a break. The poor guy is on almost every show or something. It's okay if you take a break with him having nothing to do. I don't want to see him battle the Usos by himself.
Right.
Give him a break. Give him 5 seconds. I know he had an injury too, but give him 5 seconds just to recover from anything he might have. It's okay. Then bring him and Woods out and be strong. But you shifted Big E over because I think Woods is also on the shelf longer, which essentially then we don't have a King doing anything. Not that the King is huge in the WWE anymore like it used to be or when it was cool, but yeah. And that's unfortunate because he did get injured. And it was not the plan, but they had to sit back and figure out what the hell, and now Big E's a tag team wrestler again.
Yeah, Big E's back to being tag team wrestler. He's actually 36. He'll be 36 this year. So Big E, another surprisingly older superstar, so he wouldn't be a filler. And let's go back here. Woods might be on the shelf longer, but Woods also has other things outside of WWE going on that are going to take his time away from WWE. And I'm not talking about Up, Down, Down. I'm talking he's on the G4 network, TV network now. He's doing host spots there. He's doing things there. So I think we're starting to see Woods is in that transition period of possibly moving away from the squared circle. Yes, I think he's still injured. at this point, but now he's doing more and more things, and he's probably going to start moving away from the WWE picture now. I feel like they moved Big E because they're accepting of that fact that Woods has something else going on outside of the company. So they're going to give Kofi and Big E, I'm saying, one more title run at Mania as the New Day, and then I think we start seeing the New Day start going into the sunset because Kofi's over the hill now.
Yeah,
as well.
Over the hill. I agree.
Yeah. And I don't want to say the Rumble might be playing into thought processes here, but we saw Kofi in a light that we haven't seen him before. He's not a young pup anymore.
No.
And there's nothing against that. There's nothing against him for that. I'm not holding it against him. Things happen, mistakes happen, whatever. But I think it's moving towards that direction.
I mean, they've been around since I was at Parts Unknown Seawolves.
Yeah.
They were the gospel group of New Day then. So you have a 12-year run being together. That's Freebirds. That's Midnight Express. Rock and Roll Express was on like year 60 and stuff like that. But I mean, that's groups that have been together forever. Sometimes that means you need to figure out a different story. They need to break up. They need to move along for a little bit to stay fresh, because as much as I love New Day, their stick's their stick.
Mm-hmm.
It might need refreshed a little bit. The downfall is they both suffer, meaning Big E, who was your face less than 6 months ago, Kofi, who has been always entertaining, and a person wearing a championship habit be the king of the ring, all are mid-card.
Yeah. It's no fault of their own.
None.
But
no. So
but you're right.
People saying it's Big E's fault, you're idiots. The fans' fault, the fans hated it only because creative was burying him. That's our thought, essentially.
That's exactly it, yeah.
That's our thought.
Agreed with that.
All right, anything else you want to talk about on SmackDown?
No, not really. I think that was a good, healthy mix there. I mean, Naomi's got a title shot, but that's
going to be screwed over. We see the
it's
writing on the wall.
Over.
Yeah,
we already know what's going to happen with that. So
right, because in a couple of weeks, Naomi and Sonya are going back at it. Are we getting this all the way to WrestleMania?
It's starting to feel that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it might be a little bit too long for both of them.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. I need a drink, and not a stiff drink, because I got to go do Christmas decorations. We'll be back, and we're going to deep dive into Dynamite and a week Rampage.
What's going on, you guys? This is the CEO of Shane Taylor Promotions and the baddest of all time, Shane Taylor, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back to the Can Crushers Podcast.
You're angry.
Yeah, it had to be. But let's before we go into AEW, Mark, we haven't mentioned it yet, and I think we doing a disservice for not doing that.
Yeah,
it's
twice.
Black History Month. Yeah, twice. Black History Month.
It is. We made a post earlier this week, the beginning of the month, when Black History Month started, and first and foremost, I want to say that I got called out on the post that I had, because I put Red Velvet on it, Junkyard Dog, Jade, Sasha, Coco Beware. Without pulling it up, there's like 2 or 3 more that I threw pictures on, and our friend XCal, Chris Gazaway, he's like, "Man, you forgot Ron Simmons." Damn.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could have put 1 million of people on there. But yeah, Ron Simmons should be one. Black History Month, huge in professional. I could have put Booker T. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So many people, even people from yesteryear as well. I don't know how to say this correctly, but guys, we need to celebrate Black History Month just like we celebrate everything else in professional wrestling, because they are there. They've entertained us. They are part of our life. They are part of our history. So, thank you to each and every one that has done everything for us wrestling idiots and the world, including Shane Taylor, who just brought us back from the break.
Yeah. Those that paved the way and those are who to come. So many, and we were talking about probably one of the more predominant tag teams in the history of the sport in the New Day before we left the break and talking about them. That was a major part of our lives. I mean, the New Day was a major part of my 20s. One of the main reasons I kept coming back to watch every single week was to see what New Day craziness is up to. And let me tell you, before the New Day would never bought a t-shirt with 3 black guys riding a unicorn. And I did that because New Day was so good, so entertaining. And I love every single one of them.
Was it the fuchsia one? The blue fuchsia?
Yeah, it was the blue one. Yep. Oh, damn right.
It
was that first one. I love that shirt. One of my favorites in my closet hanging up right now. But
spoiler, that logo is going on the arm at some point. That's one of the ones. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm going to be jealous of that one. That'll be a good one. So yeah, if anything this month, show your love to those that have paved the way for Black History Month in professional wrestling. Go out to the Peacock, watch a lot of great matches. I think all of the WCW content. So you can see Ron Simmons' first title win. You can see anything of that nature, old New Day stuff, anything of that nature, Bobby Lashley early matches or late matches. Just take the time. Just watch some phenomenal athletes do what they did and celebrate Black History Month for them.
Yeah, and I'll be the one and celebrate the new ones as well as Red Velvet and Jade, and the list can go on and on. Because we also, when we think of Black History Month, some people think of just that, Jenks. They think of Ron Simmons, Junkyard Dog, Booker T, and everything. They forget that there's Miss Jackie, there's Ivory, there's Tasha Steeles, the women, again, and I'll be the one that says it, and you could say yes or no if you want to agree, the women kind of get forgotten even in Black History Month. Well, guess what? We are not forgetting them. Have it be Jade and Red Velvet, and again, the list can go on and on.
Well, let's throw out another name, Jazz.
Jazz, yeah.
Underrated performer in the ring. Don't forget about her. Don't forget about any of them. You're right. The women are often left behind, but you had Jacqueline, you had Jazz, Red Velvet, Jade, anyone you can think of, they did phenomenal work in the past, or they're getting up and building their brand, if you will, at this time. So don't forget about them.
Yep. Go out, watch as much as you can, reach out to them on the socials, tell them, hey, thanks for doing what you do because I'm a big fan. Just a little interaction like that makes their days. They may not write back to you because they get a million of those, but maybe they pulled yours up to read that day, and you're like, awesome. All right, Dynamite time. And first and foremost, it's Mox against Wheeler Yuta, which, whatever.
Was supposed to be Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, after that whole situation. But you didn't like them. I thought this was actually, but obviously it was a way better match than the first time they fought.
Yes.
6 months ago, but...
I just knew something else was coming of it.
Yeah.
But I was also engulfed by the sign at ringside that said, just enjoy wrestling. Yes. Fucking right.
Agreed.
I give that man something. Just enjoy wrestling. Yes.
Agreed. And that's what I did. And that's why I embraced the Curse Stanhouse and put on Moxley. So he got jumped on.
He did.
Yeah.
All right. So Mox wins the match. Right. Let's go what happened after, and I'm going to steal some of this from some other places that I've heard, and I want to get your thoughts to see if you heard this as well. Mox is there celebrating. Danielson comes out. They have their little talk tiff that they have. How about we have Danielson, Moxley, and Punk all ride together and just take over the world? The new MWO or BWO, not Blue. That would be the Blue World Order. I was going to say the Mox World Order, the PWO, Punk World Order. I don't know. Something. Are these? I think 2 of them are for sure getting together at some point. but are they going to start recruiting then? Wouldn't it make sense to grab Punk then too? Yeah, mind blown. Fuck you, Jenks. I've been thinking about that since Tuesday or Thursday.
That's a hell of a thought. And now I'm thinking of Punk being the third man, if you will, when Hogan came out. Punk comes out. That would turn the company on its head. Mark, I got no word. I can't hate that.
I know.
Because I feel like we're going to get a Mox Danielson match, but I feel like this has legs after they have that match.
Yes, it does.
I think Revolution, they have the match, and then this takes full steam because we've kind of been thinking, well, we know, especially if Punk joins us, because we think Punk's going to turn heel at some point. Mox turning with Bryan Danielson to run the world of professional wrestling. Oh, God, sign me up for that now. And they were naming some prime candidates as their underlings. So they're taking it that step further now of we're not only going to take over the world, but we're going to train the next generation to take over the world, which is something NWO didn't do, obviously.
No, they did not. They grabbed Virgil and Scott Norton and
Ted DiBiase
and NWO Sting and
yeah. So you've blown my mind. I can't even put together rational thought right now.
Good.
I think that has a lot of legs.
Yeah, I really think so. I think this is something. Again, as AEW does great slow burns, this is going to be a good one. This really is. I don't think it's got the legs of a year of Becky Ronda, but I see it 6 months. I don't think you're going to keep getting feuds, so to speak. I think you get, like you said, the Mox and Danielson match at Revolution. Something comes out of it that have it be maybe the House of Black just fucking decimates them at the end of the match and says, you guys did your little shit show in the ring today, and now we're going to show you what the new guys can do. And then it rolls from there. And yeah, that's my prediction. That's going to be the people that's going to take them on first.
I could see that. What I think, my thought on how it's going to happen is, I think they have the match, but in Mox fashion, he kind of nods at Bryan Danielson. Damn it, I said it for the first time in 3 weeks.
You're doing so good.
I was too. Bryan Danielson. He does like a Mox like smirk head nod thing, and then we start to see them develop and pull it together and become a team. I feel like we could get a little bit of a run just for the buildup of the team itself to take on the world. But somebody's got to be first. I think you're right. It could be the Knights of the Black Throne that come up. And what a match that'll be.
Right? Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. So there's a something on your palate that you can just salivate over for a while. I hope so.
Yeah, now I am.
I am one that I actually, you're ready. People hate Brandy. People despise Brandy. To me, this was gold. I loved seeing Paige finally come back out because I thought we written Paige off, that she did her shtick and she was done. Are we getting a Brandy and Paige match of some sort? And Paige just cripples her?
It certainly seems that way, doesn't it? It just seems like that's where I'm good. Paige versus Brandy, and that sends Brandy into the sunset here. I mean, there's no other way that can go.
No.
Brandy's going to get destroyed in that match. I'm sick and tired of Lambert, but whatever. Can't do anything about that. But I think we're going to see it. Paige and Brandy, and Brandy's just going to be off into the sunset. She's done.
And when does Josh Alexander come over to AEW? Because that was a hot fucking take on Ethan Page.
I laugh. So in that segment, Brandy was on point. especially with that remark that they just did it for Josh Alexander. I'm like, no, she did not.
Yeah, she did.
Oh God, I that was fantastic.
That was my jump out moment of the week.
Yeah, because I thought the same thing. I did the same thing, man. Oh my God, and it's so true. So now I haven't looked it up yet, but do we know contract situations?
I don't offhand.
Yeah, man. I wish we did.
I don't know if he signed like a 1 year after they got done doing like the fake Karate Kid stuff to stay with Impact for a little bit longer, and Paige says screw it, I'm gone. I don't know. He's somebody that I've loved since I've seen him in IWC for the first time. I got a picture of him and Paige on the wall when they were Impact champions and IWC champions with me together. Man, I fell in like he's a man crush man for me. Between him and Sammy Guevara, I don't know, two different styles of men that I like. I don't know.
Like to keep your options open. I get it.
Yeah, gotta keep my options open. You brought up this a while back, probably in segment number 1, about how Andrade is just taking everybody from Hardy.
Yeah.
I think they're wasting Andrade right now. I don't want to see him with Private Party. Maybe the Butcher and the Blade make more sense, but he doesn't. The Private Party does not fit with him. Private Party didn't fit with Matt Hardy either. But for the love of God, I don't like it.
I think, so here's me thinking again. If they move and transition the Hardy family office to Andrade and he takes over that field, I think you start seeing a more serious side of Private Party in character development. Obviously, they're still going to do some of their flips and all of that stuff, but I think you see a more serious toned version of that with Andrade, because he'll be a man of all business. And if you're paying, air quotes, paying top dollar for these people to be a part of your organization, they're going to walk in the light you want them to walk into. Right. So I think you could see Private Party becoming a more serious, more together tag team, which I think would make them and put them on another level, would actually take them up a level if they move away from being the Private Party people, if you will.
All right. I'll have to put a pin in that and see, because as of right now, I'd rather watch the Mulkeys compared to them. There's just teams I don't like. It's not that I don't watch them. I need a story development from them, and that's something that might need to be.
Well, and that's what's been lacking with them. There's a story development, and they haven't been able to grow the character. It's a one-trick pony. I think this could give them that opportunity and could actually grow Andrade and have him do something.
Okay. House of Black versus Death Triangle, and Pac is a fucking magician, is what I wrote. I love the match. Yeah. The House of Black wins, but yeah. Wow.
And fighting blindfolded for the first 5 minutes of the match?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
I mean, I don't know how it was probably
you'd probably
potato mesh or whatever the hell it's called, but yeah.
Right. But still, what a visual. To see Pac do that. Punk. God damn. All right, Pac. I'm losing it, guys. Losing it all. But yeah, man, Pac is so good. I just wish I love this storyline. Don't get me wrong. I love this storyline. I love that he's involved with Black and King. I just want him to do more.
I do too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I get it. First match back. I get it. But how about Penta gets listed now?
I know.
And now we're wondering, is Penta going to be?
I know.
Do they all join the House of Black?
And then
does Death Triangle join with the House of Black?
And then when's Julia making her way over?
Well, exactly.
Is that going to happen now? I don't know.
That way. She keeps fighting off Griff.
I hope.
Me too.
Adam Cole talking about still being undefeated. That match didn't matter. I liked it. I did. He's going to take over the fucking world as well, essentially, is what he said. He's coming after the title.
Yep.
We have two women that are kind of in the shuffle right now. And There's been waves about Ruby this week and how she might be a little bit disgusted that she was only brought into AEW. I don't know how truthful those are, and I don't want to, deep dive into, anybody that said them or anything like that, but I feel kind of the same way. I want more from Ruby. I do, and she just takes a loss to Nyla like, I don't know, like she's Liv Morgan right now.
Yeah. And that's what I feared when she came in, because she wasn't built to take the title from Brett. The TBS title became
Jade's.
As soon as they put Jade in there, it was done. It was Jade's to lose, essentially, and there was no way she was going to lose it. Ruby, I wanted her to beat Nyla here to
yes,
just have marquee wins and keep her on that upper card. But you're right, she's slipping into the mid card right now, because this is not. I don't know why, but it just seems like Ruby's not getting her love that she needs,
why?
or that she should get.
Like, why?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. There's something missing right now. Does she need help? Clearly, it's not going to be Liv. Right. Sarah is a farmer. She's going to do spot offs. I don't think she's coming to AEW. Who in her past can help? In past, in air quotes, who can come and help her? How can she get there? I don't know. Maybe this is the storyline of a underdog returning from 2 shoulder surgeries, still trying to get her feet back under her or something. But she came in so hot. Like, I think everybody was excited that she was there. And now, without a story, we're like, oh, yeah, Ruby's still here. So,
yeah.
I hope they figure it out.
I hope so, too. And maybe it's the long burn to the women's title after Britt loses it. Not saying it's the Ruby, obviously, because we have our opinion on who it is. But maybe that's the road back to it. Is Ruby's got to go through these undercard and get through this adjustment period and build herself back up.
We do have an idea who it is, and it plays into Friday. But we have 2 more things that I want to talk about. Well, 3 more things, essentially, I want to talk about on Dynamite. Hangman, he's not getting the love right now either. Like, everybody but Britt is getting shit on in AEW, essentially. And Danielson and Punk, and, But anybody that's been, like, an AEW original is like, maybe it's not Hangman's time. His title doesn't seem like it's doing anything right now. Folks, I'm going to say Hangman's going to turn a page. I didn't even mean that. Turn a page this week that you're going to see. I don't see the Murder Hawk Monster beating him for the championship this week.
God, no.
I don't.
No.
But you're going to see a more ruthless Hangman. Somebody that the cowboy shit is going to come out. Is this going to be a 5-star match? Oh, no. No. I think it's going to be Hellfire and Brimstone, though. I think we're going to get a fight besides a match. But you're going to see a different Adam Page. He had to stay in Chicago for like 3 extra days because his flights were canceled.
Yeah. They were already canceled Wednesday night. I didn't even know about it.
Right, poor guy.
I know. How unfortunate. Let's take a retrospective here, Mark. Somebody tells you blindly that a world champion is going to beat Kenny Omega, fight Bryan Danielson to a time limit draw, and then win a bloody war against Bryan Danielson, and it doesn't do it. It's not good for them.
I think people are stupid.
I think people are absolutely stupid. If you're telling me that there's no way. I cannot tell you. I'm invested in Hangman right now.
I know.
We know we know he's going to beat Archer in that match. At least we think we do. I can't see the Murder Hawk winning that. But it's going to take him to another level of he's going to have to get nitty gritty, and I can't think of the word right now, but it's going to get brutal. He has to be brutally beat up the Murder Hawk to pass it. It's another torch passing moment. It's another level up moment. Okay, we know he can wrestle. He wrestled Bryan Danielson for an hour. We know he can win the bloody brawl. Now he's got to go in and turn on this mean streak that he has to murder Hawk. Why are people not following that? That is where I'm concerned about, because is it because they don't like Hangman's personality to a point? I don't know. I enjoy it. I like the cowboy shit. I like how he talks and how he tells the story. I think people just get this too perfect of a picture around first time title reigns, and it takes away from the moment and takes away from it. We talked about Big E's title reign. There's a difference here. Big E's first title reign, it just seemed like they took the air out of him and were feeding him losses left and right. Hangman hasn't lost, to my knowledge, in these past 3-4 months since whatever top Full Gear was, however many months ago. I know it was in November, but Hangman hasn't lost. So
and he's had matches of years.
He's had match of the years. He's had 2 of them, essentially. But
this year, and then he had last year's. Yeah.
And last year's was match of the year. So 3. So think about that. 3 in a span of 3 months, now that I did the math in my head. And he's not great? How much perfect what's the definition of perfect here?
Exactly.
What's the definition of this? I don't get it.
I think, though, the writing's on the wall, Jenks, of who's going to take the title from him.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Be even transitional than, because I don't put Hangman as a transition champion now, because to me transition is 2 weeks to a month or something like that. He's got 3 months. He has a title reign. It's not going to be a long title reign as like Omega's or Jericho's or Mox's or anything like that. But this isn't transition anymore. He's just a champ.
Yeah.
Adam Page is taking it from him. And I think
Adam Page is taking it from him?
I mean Adam Cole. Shut up. I think Adam Cole's going to take it from them. They have history. They can work. Yeah. They're both ROH, diaper dandies and superstars and stuff like that. They've worked together. This is what they're building up to. I'm all right with that too. Cole, I think, would be the transitional champion then.
You think that's to Kenny?
I don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's another heel.
Oh, okay.
Shit has changed a million times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Kenny's in the picture this year. Even when he comes back, I think he needs to make the climb. Him and Miley Cyrus are making the climb.
Coming in like a wrecking ball.
Right. That's not this episode. But
we're not partying in the USA.
All right. Foreshadowing, the Inner Circle breaks up next week.
Oh, yeah. And I think we're going to get more than just Santana Ortiz. I think Sammy's going to have because not to skip ahead, tying a little bit of a comment on Rampage, Jericho disrespected Sammy a little bit. We'll get there, but he disrespected Sammy a little bit.
Yeah.
On Rampage. So I think it's full blown next week. It's over.
Main event time, MJF and Punk. When they rolled this out at 9:15, you guys' time, because it's not my time because I watch it completely different. But with 45 minutes of the show left, I thought your main event's not going to be the main event, not going to be the last thing on TV. So what are they going to do here? By God, it was the last thing on TV, and I'm shocked that Punk and MJF Part 1 went 45 minutes, Jenks.
I am too, and I think I mentioned this to you before we started. It caught my eye or caught my ear when they said there's no time limit, or they didn't assign a time limit to it. I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening then? What are we doing here? I was shocked they went 45, but I guess to that point, I was shocked that Paige and Bryan Danielson went 60. Didn't expect it. And they told a beautiful story.
Oh, this is my match. This is on Match of the Year already. This is one of the top. Yeah. It's going to be hard pressed to get this out of the top 3 for me.
I got to agree. And, Mark, let's look at it this way. There was 2 matches in this.
Yeah. Essentially.
Before the tape brought, and then after that whole incident, there was 2 different matches that happened here.
And it furthered two storylines. It furthered the MJF Wardlow, because he was there, shit happened, but he didn't want to be there. We're getting fucking CM Punk against Wardlow. I'm excited for that.
That will be fantastic, part 2 for that match. Let's also talk about, I love the storytelling here where, and this is where AEW does cameras right, for the most part.
Not 6,000 jumps.
Not 6,000 cuts and jumps. The story they told with Wardlow stepping in front of Punk, not showing the handoff of the ring until after the match, where they saw the back. You saw it after the match.
Yeah.
What a brilliant piece of storytelling and camera work that they did there with that whole thing. That's what took me away from it. You're right. They built up both rivalries. They're pushing both forward. But man, the story of just telling that Wardlow handed it off and we didn't even notice or know about it during the match at home. Anyways, arena, they probably saw it, but God, that was beautifully done by AEW.
It was. I loved it. I go back if you haven't watched it. That's the match that I want you guys to go back and watch it again this week. Unbelievable match. All right, let's. We didn't think we were gonna get this far, but we did. Rampage is up, and we get Adam Cole against Evil Uno. It's quick for Adam, and again, he just says he's gonna defeat everybody in the world.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's
nothing really take away from it. I mean, this match I did not have high hopes. It's going to be a barn burner.
No.
But
Sammy against Isaiah. Sammy's injured still, so he's got to worry about his ribs. We knew Hardy people were going to get involved. Sammy wins. Andrade comes out to make his shtick. Mm-hmm. And then for a moment, I don't know, Jenks, I thought Darby was going to not shake his hand, stand beside him, and then hit him with like a Bad News Brown kick to the back of the head, just leave fucking Sammy decimated, and Darby goes with them. I thought maybe they just pulled the wool over our eye the whole time. And Sting gets pissed, and we finally get the Darby Sting match. It's coming at some point in life. Yeah.
Do you think it happens?
At some point. The Sting Darby match, I think at some point. Before Sting hangs it up. No, I don't.
I agree with that. But
I don't think he goes with them. I think it was just me pandering to something to happen on Rampage, maybe.
I'm not. So here's the thing. I asked that because what a turn that would be. And what an intriguing story you'd have to tell, because Darby's whole tenure, and I think even before AEW, has been this brooding loner in the corner, similar to what Sting became during WCW with the crow stick. But then he's bought out by Andrade, and money talks. That would be the
corporate
perfect
Darby
example. Corporate Darby. That would be the perfect example of Andrade. Money talks, and you walk the way I want you to walk. And Darby, corporate Darby, suit, tie, no face paint.
That would suck. That would suck.
But wouldn't that tell a story?
Yeah. And there's another burn. There's another slow burn to get something. We're booking shit left and right. If any of this happens in the next couple of weeks to months, I'm gonna call bullshit.
We definitely know Tony Khan's listening at that point.
Yeah. Who wants to see QT against Hook? QT's just gonna get decimated. That's it.
I just want to see QT get decimated. Let's send Hook out.
But he's not. He's sending somebody new out.
So who could be new?
I don't know. I don't think it's anybody big. First and foremost,
nothing against QT and them, but if it's anybody big time signing, I think that would be a step down for them.
Yeah,
QT and the factory, they're just not on even the same playing field as any other faction in AEW right now.
None. Maybe the Hardy Party. That's about it.
Maybe. But even so, the Hardy Party has gotten wins left and right. The Factory's not getting wins. So Yeah, they're just not. I think that's just a step down for if it's a big name talent if they do that. But
It's a
who
rookie.
knows?
It's a rookie coming.
Yeah, it has to be.
My cousin takes on Thunder Rosa, and this match, Rosa starts quick, and this ends perfect. Because it ends perfect-er after we come back from commercial. Essentially, my cousin's Mercedes has had enough of Rosa and just fucking hits her with a lead pipe. Takes something that we have not seen on AEW in 2 years.
At least, yeah.
A disqualification. Cool. There's a story to this. We're going to get part 2. And I was okay with just that. Then we come back from commercial, and she's in the back bitching about Rosa. And DMD comes in and says, hey, I paid you to take her out. All you got was a disqualification. Hello? There's another story built instantly. If Thunder Rosa's not the one that takes the title from Britt, my cousin's going to be the one taking, because she's not going to take Britt's shit. And they've had a past too in Rise and Shimmer and a couple other ones across in the Independents. So let's not pretend like they don't know each other. They do. They've had matches. Look them up. They're great matches. Mercedes is older. Out of respect of a woman, we usually don't. She's older in the business as well. She's not going to be here long. After this contract, maybe. I don't know how long the contract is. Her life in wrestling is probably going to start dwindling down. This is a great spot for her right now. Perfect spot. And did you think that it was going to be Britt that brought her in?
No, but it brings everything full circle now.
Yeah.
And it makes sense why she wanted Thunder Rosa out. It furthers that. There's the Thunder Rosa Britt storyline about. Let's talk about the also brewing of Jamie Hayter and Britt. That
right?
This alliance just pretty much done. Now, Hayter stepped in front of Martinez before she got to Britt. But now we're going to see Hayter start walking away. I think I talked about it a little bit a couple weeks ago. That Diesel Shawn type mentality is going on here. Britt's going out and hiring another gun because Hayter's not getting the job done. So now we're disrespecting Hayter. This is going to blow up for DMD. And I think it's going to be right around Revolution that's going to all blow up.
And that's when we're going to get a new, and as much as I don't want it, I think it's time.
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa runs with it for a little bit.
Agreed.
And I think people are going to go nuts. When Britt loses, Britt can take some time off, fight with Mercedes, fight with Hayter, still have that upper mid-card battle that doesn't need to be over a title, and that's when she's best on the mic, when she can just spit vermin or vomit or whatever you want to
spit venom,
vile, all venom. Of that at her opponent. I'm telling you, the women's revolution in AEW it's getting hotter again. It really is, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, agreed.
Deeb didn't say a word, but she said so much in that promo. Holy shit. I love that promo. Almost generic, as it's just like, words over top of her and stuff, but it was cool. I hope she does done on her vacation, and I hope this happens at Revolution too.
Agreed.
Then we get Starks against Lethal. Jenks, this is where you could have taken it off of Starks and put it on Lethal and have Hook be your next champion at Revolution.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. This is the one that I was like, oh. The matches themselves on Revolution weren't top of the barrel at all. But at least they continued stories. The backstage stuff is what got us going.
Yeah. Yeah, I was glad they stopped, that they told the stories and continued them. I was a little disappointed by the FTW title not changing hands. My question to you, Mark, and I want to throw this out to you, is are they going to continuously push out the FTW champion to replace it with the brand new image? And case in point, Brian Cage was the champion. They pushed him out for Ricky Starks to get the title. Is Ricky Starks going to be pushed out for the title now that Jay Lethal didn't take the title off of him for Hook? because I feel like that's where we go now. And I think Hobbs is just there to be the muscle.
Yeah.
And for Taz. And I just feel like that's the way they transition the FTW title. It never leaves a group because they push out the group members that are too big for the group.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
I agree. Yeah. I was never a big Ricky Starks into the Taz group thing. I think him and Sammy could be ripping it up over the TNT. I fell in love with Starks when he was in the NWA and he won the TV championship. That's when I fell in love with him. Then he transitions over, and I'm like, oh man, he's going to be great against Darby, against Sammy, against, some of these younger guys, because he's a little bit older in the business. He's been an indie star for a long time.
Yeah.
I thought this is perfect, and they give him this, and I don't think it's done much for him, but you're right. He's bigger than the Taz group.
Yeah. And what's amazing is for Ricky, we haven't gotten those prolonged rivalries with Ricky versus anyone else besides, Cage and that really fully developed. So once he goes out of the Taz group, we finally get to see his star shine, which is interesting to me anyways.
Yeah.
We can fully dive into Ricky Starks because he's entertaining on the stick. I mean, he's great on commentary. I like what you say. So now I just want to see more. And I don't want to see him with Taz.
Nope, and it only makes sense. I think it really makes sense. Hook's got to be the next person to have this. So him and Stark's just going to get into it soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, that's all I have on wrestling. You have anything else on wrestling this week there, Sir Michael Jenks?
Mark to Mark, I do not. I think we covered a pretty much extensive list of wrestling-related topics.
We did, and again, I don't understand that, we always say it might be hard to get 2 hours. Guess what we did? We got 2 hours.
We get 2 hours. We find ways. We get creative with it.
We do. Guys, I want to take a quick moment before we wrap this up, and I guess give a big shout-out to one of my mentors, idols, I don't know how you want to put it because I'm going to get sappy and tongue-tied here in a minute. Friday night, we got the phone call that a guy that I've worked with now for years in the radio business passed away. We knew he was going in from surgery, and some of his complications caused him to have a heart attack, and he passed away. And that is the voice of, if you're local here around Ridgeway, it's Barry Morgan, the voice of high school sports in Ridgeway and L County, essentially passed away. I put up probably the best thing I could put up on my Facebook page about working with him, and we all work for the same company, but there's a couple different teams, and I don't get to call many games with Barry, but I did get to call our favorite time of the year for basketball with him. It was the L County Holiday Tournament. We called the women's championship game. Was the last time I got to sit side by side with him and call a game. And Barry's always positive about everything in life and anything you can do. And anytime that we work together, he's like a grandfather to me. He'd always give me a pat on the back and he's like, good call, kid. And that meant the world to me. So Barry, I know you're up there right now. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for just being by my side, the opportunity to call all high school sports in L County on the Laurel Media Group. And I love you, and good call your whole life, Barry. I love you. So with that, Jenks, I'm sorry, I told you I was going to do it at some point. I had to. Again, I don't know how many people, they saw it on my post, but I wanted the masses to know what this guy has done for me. He's amazing. But let's transition into us because it was a rough day.
Yeah, or don't apologize for paying tribute to someone that's meant the world to you. And just go out knowing that he probably felt the same for you, even though it might not have been expressed directly by him. But it's tough when you lose somebody that means the world to you. So Don't apologize for it.
That's what I forgot to say. And I this is actually the thing I was going to say. Some of the high school basketball coaches around here, when it was me and my partner that would roll up, we're like, oh, we're getting the poor man's Barry Morgan tonight. That means the world to me. If I'm the poor man's Barry Morgan and I'm half the man on the radio that he is, I'm ready to take over. I'm kidding. I could never take over his shoes, but to be called the poor man's Barry Morgan right now, thank you to all the coaches out there. Thank you, because he's a legend. So
yeah.
All right, Jenks. Last week you said we're ready for a great week of wrestling. To return it all back to the beginning, I hope it's true this week. We have some matches that I'm excited about. I think WWE is going to be rough because it's the tweener week. There's no go home show. It's just going to be more force fed stories. But I think AEW can bring it this week. I really do.
Yeah, I think AEW has a stacked card already, if I'm not mistaken, about what's coming up for Dynamite. So it's going to be a good week, at least for AEW. WWE, we'll see how it plays out. Maybe they'll surprise us, Mark.
Maybe they'll surprise us. Guys, you know where you can find us. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all at CanCrusher69. Don't forget, I put that you guys can call in. At least we got a couple comments about Shane O'Mac being fired. We really didn't touch on that, Jenks, but it's out there. It's out there. Read about it. He was a complete douchebag in the back, and it's funny, Vince had to fire his own son. Or, no, Jenks, we're going to go with this. We're not going to say goodbye yet. People are saying it's a work and he's going to show up at AEW. Quickly, what do you think?
I would be surprised he shows up at AEW unless there's
inner workings?
Some inner workings happening, and then I would be very afraid about what those inner workings are.
I think it could be bad for the business if he shows up and there's inner workings.
If there's inner workings, it's going to create a monopoly in the business. Yeah. If it goes down and agreed, it's going to be really bad for the business. So we'll have to wait and see. But if it's a work and Shane O'Mac shows up, there's something else going on. There's no way Shane McMahon shows up on AEW without something else going on in the background.
Agreed. Will you do the shuffle if he shows up on AEW
though? Yeah.
Well, when you get better. Again, but when you get
when I get better, I'll shuffle.
Okay.
But God, I hope he doesn't show up.
I hope he doesn't show up. I'd take Hornswoggle first. We're also available on Spotify, iHeart, Google, all the podcasts out there. Still things in the works to get a live nightly show. Just to say that is something that I have 2 places of interest now that I'm now looking at, which is going to be awesomer to have in a call-in show nightly, along with some other things. So we'll leave it at that. Yeah. All right, Jenks, I love you. Heal up. Get your ass in gear because you have about an hour and a half before we're putting Christmas decorations away.
I love you, man. Good luck in the cold today. I do not envy you one bit. I think I'm just going to snuggle up in my recliner and kick my legs up and enjoy the day.
You watching the Pro Bowl?
Maybe.
No.
It's not a must watch for me. So
not anymore.
If I get bored. No, not anymore.
That and the NBA also are horrid to me.
The All-Star games in general don't appeal to me anymore. They did when I was younger, but it just doesn't do it for me.
No. All right. Remember, we got a really cool interview coming up with Stan Michael that will be released this Wednesday, and then Scarecrow is next Wednesday, and a lot more in the hopper. So remember, Jenks, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
It's a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.